Ready. Happy Friday. Whew. Hi, Janelle. Good to see you. Hi, everybody. I'm sorry for those who are trying to sign up and it wouldn't let you. I guess if it's within an hour from an event, it kind of shuts off the registration, but have no fears because it looks like I'm going back to just streaming live on social media. So, oh, the poll has spoken. How is everybody? Oh, and that's why I can't see the chat. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Nara. Hi, Cassie. Good morning, Denise. Hi, Christine. Good morning. Good morning. Nicole's pooped. Well, let's do our numbers. 1 to 10. Roadkill or animated animal? How are you feeling this morning? Good morning, Arlene. Janelle, doing it. Get ready with me. I love it. I've missed it. We've got, okay, Nicole's a 3. Audrey's a 7. Christine says, seems like I'm sticking around 5 to 6. Denise is an 8. Nikki's an 8. Nara, what's happening? Nara's a -2. Uh-oh. Well, I hope we get you back into positive numbers before we part ways this morning. Wow, I really am so blind. Like when I take my glasses off, I can't read any of those comments at all. That's too bad. Uh-oh, 2 -2s. All right. Sarah's a 5. Where's my fire stick? Good morning, Beth. Uh-oh. Melting face emoji. All right. Well, here we are. It's Friday. It's really been a hell of a time. I'm starting to finally start to feel better and use my brain again, which is real great. Turns out I now have asthma, which I don't think is really true, but it's clearly a COVID complication. So it is what it is, but I'm able to breathe now, and I slept for the first time last night, and it really is the little things, guys, because I feel like a much more alive person right now, so that's good. We have a lot of wild energy right now, and I've been a little bit out of touch with you guys, so I actually want to check in on how you're feeling with this energy to see if like what I've been picking up this week is me and my own crisis, or are you guys feeling this too? So how it's been feeling to me is this energy has gone like Scorpio on steroids and is taking no prisoners at all, and just like complete deep dive into all of the things and things that you knew were issues, but like thought maybe like didn't have to become like a big deal, and you can just kind of, you know, not maybe deal with them right now. You have to deal with, and all the feelings, and just a complete inability. Like it's like the filter's gone. It's like the filter's gone, and things that don't feel right are now like you can't make them feel tolerable anymore. They're just like constantly poking you, or even more aggressively being in your face. And it, to me, which is interesting because we are currently in the retrograde of Mars, to me it feels like there has to be an action. But it's like an action that's been, you know, a long time coming kind of action. Not like a rash action, not like, you know, just, oh, I'm going to freak out and do something crazy action. It's more like whatever this thing is, even if it is a little crazy, we've been sitting on it for a minute and it needs to be done, and it's time to just do it. So, well, I'm talking about me personally, but the collective is, I mean, have you seen it? The issue with the collective that I'm finding hard to look directly at right now is because I know that when I look directly at it, it's going to make me I don't know. It feels like it's going to change a lot of things for me that I'm going to change, but I'm also like, I'm just so tired this week, if that makes sense. But collectively, patriarchy is dying. Capitalism is dying. Quote unquote democracy is dying. Everything is shit hitting fan type of energy, and you really can't ignore that anymore. It's crazy, but the man stuff is like, oh my God, like I'm just kind of exhausted from that alone. Just kind of seeing the disconnect of patriarchy trained men. It's just wow. Wow. So collective energies is Tower. I think collective energy is going to be in Tower for a while, and we are going to have to learn how to navigate our lives, understanding that the weather outside of our bodies is going to be Tower energy no matter what. Like there's no way that's changing right now. So the question is, how do you fortify your miniverse to exist in a time, in a place where the weather outside is frightful, you know? Oh my God, I'm so sorry for that one. But it's true. It's not gonna get better. It's just not. Because it's going to get better. And in order to do that, it has to completely deconstruct. And shit, man, we have, you realize that we literally have the second eclipse on election day, right? Like, you know that. It's the 8th. Who do you think planned that, by the way? Do you think that was a mistake? I think the mistake is thinking that quote unquote powers that be don't understand energy or astrology. I think that's the mistake. I think we've been trained to believe that all of this frou-frou woo-woo nonsense is like third rung and not real when you think about how societies are built and run. But that's not true at all. It's a deflection, because if you know about it, then they can't use it as great. But there's no denying it. That is going to be a fucking chaotic day. It's already chaotic. But yeah, every year it's the same, guys. They pick it every time. The thing I sent you, I think I said this in an email. I was trying to get some cogent thoughts out at some point this week. But Mars is in retrograde right now. And my brain can't find this information right now, but it's, what is it? What did I say it was retrograde in? Do you remember that? It's retrograde in what? Fuck. Totally left my brain. This has been happening to me more and more, which is a little concerning. But regardless, it hasn't been retrograde in this particular sign since 2020. And you remember how that went, right? That was like peak pandemic situation. So it's, we're back in that kind of an energy. And I've been putting in my stories, I don't know if you've seen it, but my Apple News has been spitting me these headlines lately that are very weird to me. And they're basically saying like, here are the style of masks that we'll wear for the next pandemic. Here's how the next pandemic will be different. Here's how, and I'm like, wait a second. Are we pre-preparing our fashion for another pandemic? Like, what does that mean? Like, why would you write an article like that? That makes me feel like it's literally on the schedule for us to have another one. And it seems like we're not getting scared enough. And so we need some bigger things like, oh, let's prepare for nuclear war, and like there's going to be another pandemic. But yeah, so anyway, suffice to say, collective is crazy. Arlene says, watch this week's Maddo last night. She said this election is about saving democracy, not a time to stay home. It is. And I would venture to kind of move beyond that statement and say it's really not about saving democracy, because we don't live in a democratic country. We just don't. Like, that's an illusion. But it is about balancing things and taking back some power. Because if you kind of sit at home and you're like, well, my vote doesn't matter because both sides are ridiculous anyway, you're correct, both sides are ridiculous anyway, but like, what do you want to work with? Like, what do you want to work with to change the system? A majority Republicans or majority Democrat? Like, you just have to kind of think about that, because one party is okay with people breaking into old people's houses and slamming them in the heads with hammers and making jokes about it. Like, we've got real big problems. Like, that's crazy town. Like, it's not even, that's not political. That's like, you're a crazy person and you think that's funny. You're the worst kind of person. So we're having issues with that, you know, in the collective, with really bad behavior. So yeah, what a week. This Scorpio season isn't bringing it, I have to say. Like, I was so excited and it took me out immediately and hasn't really let me up for air. You wouldn't believe the shit that's going on over here. I can't even tell you about it because it's kind of like I'm not allowed to. But when I can, just, you're not gonna believe it. I don't even believe it. Like, but my birthday's Monday, so make sure you don't forget that. I mean, I'll be here to tell you about it, but don't forget. All right. So I know I have so many Scorpio people. I was just checking on my Facebook to see birthdays, and I was like, wow, look at that. It's amazing. All right, let's get to these cards. Oh, wait, one more thing. Don't forget, we're doing our channeling on Sunday. Hopefully that doesn't kill me, but I will be doing it regardless. It's going to be, I think it's at 6 p.m. on Sunday. I think all of you guys are already registered on there, so you'll get a note. All right. Irene says, right, you can tell she's done with the men. You can tell who's done with the men. I mean, I know I'm done with them, but the only man that I'm like, I like you, is Jon Stewart, and I don't know him personally. And if something comes out that says that he's sexually harassed somebody or whatever, I'm gonna lose it, because come on. And I'm sure you guys know the good men as well, okay? But there's something wrong with most of them, like legit. Something's wrong. Patriarchy, but man, oh man. All right, so for today, what shall we do? Let's do something peaceful. Let's do peaceful water, like different types of water that might soothe you during this very, hot time. Cassie says, I keep saying that and get labeled a man hater. I'm very confused by all of this because it's a new one for me, but like, I mean, could you literally do anything that makes me not want to hate you, at least? Just do one thing. I'll wait, just do something. Do something. Okay, I like that one. Okay, so we'll do hot spring. That sounds very relaxing. We'll do a babbling brook. And we will do, what do you call that? I can't remember the name for what I'm trying to say. So hot spring, babbling brook, and we need something salty. So we'll just do the ocean, make it simple. But the ocean in my brain is the type of ocean where it's kind of like a cove. So it kind of comes in from the big ocean. So it's very calm. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like kind of protected. That's the one I'm visualizing. But if you do your ocean how you want it. So hot spring, babbling brook, or the ocean. What are you feeling this morning? I'm going ocean all the way. I need some salt water. Nara says, I can't grow the male parts, and finally realize who does. They now know who does. It is a power they don't have yet. They're not going to have that power. It's like, it's just fucked up, honestly. It's very fucked up. Man. All right. All right. So if you haven't picked yet, it is Babbling Brook, Hot Spring, and Ocean. Hot Spring, Babbling Brook, Ocean. And I've just pulled for Babbling Brook. Sarah says, I do have to say that my husband is one of the good ones. He's not perfect, of course, but he's pretty amazing. Well, you know what the thing is? You don't have to be perfect to be a good man. It's not that hard. Like, I mean, it is clearly, but it's like just be able to talk about your feelings, be able to have empathy for others, and don't run around railroading everybody with your male privilege. It isn't that hard, right? Like, there are just some things that just blow my mind as constructs these days, you know? Like, I'll tell you one of them. And I'm like this, I'm worse than ever, as far as like staying on track with my brain. So enjoy me. But you know, that whole thing about how men can't find the clit, you know, how it's like a whole movement apparently that like they just can't find it. And it's like a thing that we just are like, oh, they can't find it, you know, precious guy. Well, when I first started having sex with ladies, I was like, wait a second, it's always in the same place. Guys, it's always in the same place. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, it's always at the top. So how is it that we have like this whole movement of men who like, well, we can't, you know, it's really complicated, can't find. Is it? Like, it's very confusing. Like, you'll even see those like on the sidewalk interviews, and they'll be like, here, identify where the clit is on this diagram. And the guys are pointing to assholes and urethras, and it's like, it's always at the top. Like, that's that means you don't care. That means you see me as a blow-up doll and you don't care, because like, it's very simple. So things like that are just like, they're just like exploding in my brain. Like, what is wrong with everybody? So anyway, there's my travel in this direction. But here we go with Hot Spring. This is Hot Spring. The first one was Hot Spring. So if you chose that, here you go. You're not going to be surprised by this. It's the stag again. We can't get away from the deer energy. We just can't, especially stag. So there it is. We have the dog today. And we have the fear card. All right, so this is an interesting one. For those of you who keep getting stag, you know, I've been telling you that's kind of the same thing where it's like, if you are a stag, like that's who you are. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on. You are the stag. Like, you can't change who you are. That's who you are. But this is taking it in a little bit further. So if you've been getting stag a lot, this is your continued message. Okay, this is the next step of that. You're being asked at this time to really actually step into a place of leadership. And for some of you, that is specific to possibly like in your job or even in your family. It's like you're literally like, you are the one and there is nobody else more qualified, but you're not used to that being the case, even though you kind of know it because you're looking around and you're like, yeah, it probably is me. But there is some serious fear with this because you're not used to being in that position. And it's not even like position of power. It's position of forward momentum of dictating where the energy is going to go. Like, the water is flowing behind you. It's coming. It's on its way. You have to dig the trench to say where it goes. And that's a lot of responsibility. if you think about it in that way. But is it, or is it what you came here to be and to do? Is it scary, or is it only scary because it is so very much exactly who you are and exactly what you want? You may have spent your whole life giving yourself the opposite of this, and that is why it feels extra scary at this time. So what do? How do you step into that leadership position and kind of work with the energy of fear that you are feeling at this time? Well, we have the dog that's coming in to save the day. Dog energy plus fear energy are good combinations. This is similar to why people have emotional support animals for anxiety, right? Like, it makes me very anxious to go into a crowded place, but when I have my dog with me, I feel okay. It's the same concept. This might make you feel very edgy, but your ability to support yourself and be there for yourself is what is going to assist you in navigating this next leg of your journey. The dog energy is impressing upon you again that you are so worth loving. You are worth loving yourself. And that's really the biggest one. And it is the biggest cliche, but all of the biggest spells are hidden in the cliches. That is a fact. The most cheesy, ridiculous cliches ever are where the biggest spells are hidden. So you do need to love yourself. You do need to love yourself, because that's how you unlock all the love that's trying to come to you via all the other directions. So the dog is reminding you of that. So that is your hot springs message for this morning. Just that. And the next one is Babbling Brook. I didn't see Grey's Anatomy. I didn't know Grey's Anatomy was still on the air. I feel like I haven't seen Grey's Anatomy in like 10 years. What? But have you guys seen that show on Netflix? I think it's called, is it called Sex Education? With Gillian Anderson and the high school kids? That's a really good one. Sorry, I'm like over here snorting my bugs this morning. All right, Babbling Brook, people. Oh, look, Jacinda's popping in. Yeah, love it. Hi, Jacinda. You missed the first one, but you can pick from these two. Babbling Brook or Ocean. Right. Do I sense a theme for us today? All right. All right. So this is Babbling Brook, and I won't keep you in suspense. The dog is back. Okay. We also have the cow. Can you see that? It's kind of, I see like a weird brightness. Not that you need to see it, but there it is. And the serpent. So you've got dog, cow, and serpent. We have lots of animal energy this morning. So let's see what this is exactly. Okay. So for my Babbling Brook people, If you've heard before that it's time to start asking for help, and then on the other side of that, allowing yourself to receive, this is for you. Now, the cow is actually really specific to whatever you consider to be abundance energy. We are, I'm going to say every single person who's currently tuned in, whose energy is streaming right now, you're pretty hardwired not to accept abundance. And that's not your fault. So don't worry. Me too, so don't worry about it. But I'm just saying, I feel it. And this is something to just kind of gently look at. It is a condition. It is not your natural state. It is misinformation. It is coercion. It is manipulation. And it is an energetic tactic to keep you feeling very impotent and very at the mercy of another. Okay? And that's okay, because the only thing that you need to do is start to gently look at this now. If you're hardwired to reject abundance, but you are also taught that it is your mission in life to go after abundance, what do you think that does to you energetically? Right? You're being told to run as fast as you can into a brick wall. And when the brick wall hits you in the face, that's your fault. Okay? That's a huge program. And seeing that program is very overwhelming and can really cause you to kind of turtle and just be like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with this because it's too much. And that's fine. On the other side of the scariest thing you will ever do in your life, which is basically free falling into the universe with this one, because I don't really know a moderate way to do it. And I don't know, but maybe you'll find one. But on the other side of that free fall is realizing that nothing is what you think it was, but everything is what you think it is. Do you see what I'm saying? Nothing is what you thought it was, but everything is what you think it is. So if you believe that for you, being comfortable physically, having enough money to do what you need to do, not being stressed every single day, if you feel that that is not achievable for you because of various reasons, whatever they are, that is going to be true. No one is going to ever contradict you. No one's going to ever be able to break through that program for you because it's yours. And our work here is to understand that we have the power to change our programs. But in order to do that, there's a massive ego wall to get through. Because in order to change that program, you have to admit that you've been kind of a pawn in somebody else's program. And that doesn't feel good. That feels shitty, and you will buck up against it. And there's kind of a glorious, like, I don't know, a glorious lack of accountability and ease in believing that it's not your fault that you haven't been able to achieve what you want to achieve, because then it's not your fault. That's why religion is so important, because it's not your fault. You're not in charge of your soul. You know, it's not me. I'm handing it over, middlemaning it. But sovereignty means we don't do middlemans anymore. So, happy Friday. This is kind of a heavy one. But if what you truly seek is to feel free and to have, all the things that you've been saying you want and doing all the work for, listen, I've gotten plenty of notes from you guys saying that you miss specific ritual. You want to do more ritual. And there's a reason why at this time I've shied away from ritual a little bit and have really been emphasizing doing kind of like the rewiring of the programs. Because if you do a ritual, let's say we do some ritual of abundance, right? That's great. But if your programming is hardwired to reject the fruits of that ritual, why are we doing it? So that you just feel better about yourself, so that you feel like you're tapped into some magic as you continue to do everything exactly the same as you always did. I'm not into that. That doesn't make me feel good. It makes me feel kind of useless. So I think that there needs to be a very serious balance between what your magic is and what your ritual is, and looking at the fact that your brain is hardwired to go against all of those things. It cannot be one or the other. It has to be both of them. And your magic will work if you see that. Okay? So what does that mean for now? Scorpio season is probably doing a job on you with this one. Let it do so. Just allow it. Things are breaking down for a reason, and all you need to do is soften. Okay? There's so many things that want to come into your field, but there's in a lot of cases, there is an action on your part that needs to be taken. And that action is not sitting back and being like, a miracle will happen. You need to change the way you think about things and how you act in the fucking world. That's just the end of it. Like, otherwise we're just sitting around here kind of in a circle jerk, right? Being like, oh yeah, look at us. Here we are, you know, all the crystals, let's light this up. But like, what does it mean if you are not changing how you operate in the world? You're not better than anybody else because you know how to work with crystals and you understand, you know, the mechanics of energy and whatever it is. You're not better than anybody. You're a little bit, you know, being ridiculous. So this is this hello, good morning, do your work kind of a Scorpio situation with the babbling brook, which is not very relaxing. I thought it was going to be a little more relaxing. But on the other side of understanding that is the biggest information drop of your life. Okay? This is not a small thing. And the dog is here to love you through it. Can you hold compassion for yourself during this process? Can you look at yourself and be like, wow, I've been a little bit of a fucking clown, and still love yourself? Can you course correct as you say, holy shit, lady, what is that? Right? Can you? Yes, I know that you can, because I literally do it like every 3 to 6 months. So it's fine. We have to be able to laugh at ourselves. We have to be able to not take ourselves so damn seriously. We're all in this together, and we want the same things for the most part. So there's your babbling brook. Man, oh man. And then the last one's the ocean. Maybe that will be the soothing one. We'll see. We'll see. The babbling brooks are active, actually. Like, I like to listen to them, but if you think about it, it does a little bit of chaos energy because they're only babbling because they're like literally running over rocks, right? Oop. Smoothing those edges down relentlessly over time. It's funny. Has anybody else just been going around at like everything in the whole world and being like, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Just me every day. Fucking Taylor. Oh. Yeah. Taylor, like, love her or hate her, I have so much respect for that girl because, I mean, is she for real right now? She puts an album out and all of the songs on the album are in the top 10. Who does that? And she's like, And then she's like, I think I'm going to go on tour, and Ticketmaster breaks before she's even selling anything. It's like, oh my God, like, you did it. It's called Anti-Hero by Taylor, and it's on the Scorpio playlist. Maybe you know this already, but when I do the playlist, I typically add to the playlist throughout the month. So I've added that to it. Nira, what do you mean by Hitler energy? All right. So I've got our ocean. Oh, got it. Loved and hated. Okay. That's an, let's do a different analogy. She's very polarizing. Let's put it that way. I used to hate her. That's true. But like these days, I don't know if you've noticed this, especially when it comes to other women. I noticed that if I am immediately inclined to like be like, I hate that girl, it's because I'm being a tool of the patriarchy without even realizing it. Like anytime you look at a woman and your immediate instinct is like to be hating on her, you don't even know her. Like, why are you thinking that? Is it because is she dressed too sexy? Do you think she's sexier than you? Like, what is it? Like, what exactly is it? And I look at that all the time because there's so many. I used to be that person up and down all the time, but now it's like I feel very differently about it because it's like whenever I see somebody, I'm like that I have that tinge. I'm like, wait, let me dig into this a little bit, and that will usually end up being a person who teaches me a lot. So. Just there. So ocean is a very different vibe than the rest of our pulls. So here you go. It's a love card. It's a hawk card. Lots of those lately, huh? And it's a dragon card. This is nice. Let's see what this says. I hope it's nice. Okay. So this, the ocean card pull is asking you to look at what your understanding of love is rooted in. There is, how do I want to put this? So we are taught what love is from early on. And then we're shown what love is. And what they're kind of showing me, and my words are not probably conveying great, is that the conventional supported idea of what love is built in it on a foundation of fear. Either fear of not being worthy of it, fear of not doing enough to get it, fear of not having it, just very conditional, very like so many conditions of what love is. And love as an energy is an incredibly high vibrational energy. And being that it is so high as an energy, it's not possible for it to exist in that space. And that's why so many of us are having mother issues right now. Because for a lot of us, we have been taking that high vibrational love feeling and trying to understand how it exists in the very low vibrational conditional love feeling that we've had in our families or that we have experienced with our mothers or with whomever. And the dissonance has confused us, and we've been very confused because it's hard to take that and put it there and understand that they're the same because they're actually not. So this is looking at that and asking you, do you know what love is? Do you know what it feels like? Do you know how to express it? Do you understand what the energy of love actually is? And it's going to be different for everybody. But understanding that for yourself is going to be incredibly powerful. Unlocking your love energy is like kind of like, do you guys play Candy Crush? No? Okay. I mean, I won't use that as an example. Well, I will actually. You'll have to just follow. So in Candy Crush, there's some of the levels where you have to hit these keys to unlock these different candies. And so you can't finish the level unless the keys have been found and those candies have been unlocked, because they're in like boxes. And understanding love energy is like that, is like unlocking those keys so you can actually fully play the level. It's like it's there, but inaccessible to you until you can understand the love energy. And the love energy is not what you thought it was. It's not what possibly, if you have a strained or toxic relationship or narcissistic relationship with somebody, it's not that energy. And if you were raised by a narcissist or somebody who is unable to fully be present in their own emotions, that's a difficult one, because you were thinking that that was love, but it's not. It's a different emotion, and you have access to it. We all have access to it. We've all felt it at different points in time. We just didn't know to call it that. But look at what that is for you. Just kind of allow yourself to open up to the idea of like, what does love energy actually feel like? And when you love a person, there is a freedom in that. It shouldn't feel like a life sentence. It shouldn't feel like a lockdown of energy. It should feel like I'm more free because I love this person. And it's not about holding that person close. It's not about controlling what they do. None of those things. It's a different energy. So this is just asking you to look at that, because this is going to be the unlocking of some massive understanding for you and level up energy. The dragon and the hawk are supporting this journey. The hawk has likely been presenting to you. May even be like very obvious, like when you're driving, like, is a hawk driving and like towards you? Is it almost hitting your car? Do you always see hawks? Do you walk outside and hear them? Like, that is reminding you to look to this idea of love energy and to ask yourself what that means to you. And then we have the dragon energy, and this is a really this one's coming through with also kind of a specific tool for you, which is to purify the old cords that have attached you to what you thought were love. Does that make sense? Let me say it again. To purify the old cords that are attached to what you thought were love. Okay, so those are, any relationships that you had classified as like, this is actually love, but is rooted in that fear energy, to allow you to kind of disconnect yourself from that source so that you're no longer getting that information in that way. It's just kind of like energy cleanup, and the dragon energy is helping with that. So, yes. So anyway, happy Friday. That was a little bit of a lot of things, huh? I'm excited for channeling. Again, I really hope I don't die, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm excited for my birthday. What I'm going to do next week is I will be doing Coffee&Magic at 8:30 as per usual, and then I will be gone because I'm taking myself to the woods, and I will have like hardly any internet, and I'm going to be in the middle of a forest, and there's bald eagles and water, and I'm going to completely unplug and turn 39 in peace away from all boys. Yes, so that's what I'm doing next week. But quick thing, and I sent an email to you if this affects you specifically, but the normalized magic circles, I don't like them, and they just haven't been hitting for me, so I'm canceling those for the rest of the year. Here's the reason. I thought it would be great to have like you guys just randomly drop in when it feels good for you, but like it doesn't create a cohesive family unit, and I want the family thing back. So with that being said, those of you who purchased the normalized magic circle passes, those actually work with all of the channeling events too. So if you just purchased one, then don't worry about it. A couple of you purchased a few of them, and I emailed you specifically to see what you wanted to do. But I will be announcing the registrations for the next workshop, which will be a channeled workshop, which is what it always is. So I'm going to do myself a favor, not call it something weird, and then be like, just kidding, here's what it actually is. It will be channeled based on who shows up. It's going to be a longer container this time. This time it's going to be a 3-month container. What we will do is we're not going to officially start until January, but we're going to have one meeting before the holidays get crazy to meet each other and kind of create that beginning container, and then we'll officially start in January. So, and I'm doing like crazy stuff. I'm doing crazy stuff. So with that being said, I'm not raising the prices on workshops because I'm actually going back to school. So, because why not? So with that being said, whatever, I'm going to look back at what I did last time. It'll be exactly the same. Payment plans will be the same. And I'm excited to just have our container back because that was really good for me. And I think it was good for you guys too. Especially, I did send the polls out and that's what you told me. So I'm listening. Coffee&Magic is probably going to very shortly be going back to its streaming on live formats. Because you also told me you preferred that too. And we'll just kind of roll from there. If you've been asking about one-on-one sessions, after next week, I'll be opening those up again. And I'm going to do it so that like when my energy's good, I'll open up for the next couple days after that and then close up again. So I'll be doing that. But anyway, those are the main announcements. Thank you, Nara. Thank you for calling it my refinery ability. It's been called other things in the past, but like, you know how we roll. I'm just doing my best. But I like to try different things. I appreciate you rolling with me. But again, like the circle thing wasn't doing it for me. I feel like we need an actual group that we can grow with and connect with in that way. And we just need to do that. Okay. So I love you. And I will see you on Sunday, 6 p.m. for channeling. And I'm very excited. I'm excited I feel better. I was really worried. I thought I lost all of my magic abilities. I thought I lost my sense of smell. I thought that I hated everybody. I almost canceled everybody. When I first got sick, I was like, fuck everything. Fuck this business. But it's fine. I was just being cranky. So I'll see you on Sunday. Mwah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Remember, the replay of this is on YouTube. I'm streaming it now, so if you need to go back and get yelled out by those cards, you can totally do that. Okay? All right. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye, guys.